Welcome back, Gym Nerds. Today we'll be talking about the human flag. Now, as you might imagine, there's a lot that goes into this exercise. The two largest muscle groups that will be engaged when performing the human flag are your lats and your obliques. So let's begin by discussing some basic exercises to strengthen these muscles. To tackle our lats, we can continue doing more pull-ups. So when doing pull-ups, the further apart your hands are from one another on the bar, the more your lats will be engaged. Perhaps the most basic exercise for tackling your obliques is the side plank, as we can see here. To make this exercise more difficult, you can put something under your feet to raise them several inches off the ground. After building up strength in your lats and obliques, you can work your way into a two-step human flag progression. The first step is to try the vertical human flag as seen here. Twisting your body in this position will require a lot of oblique strength. And once you feel comfortable doing the vertical human flag, you can progress your way into the regular human flag. Now let's discuss the workout in more detail.
So right now you might be thinking to yourself that the human flag looks really difficult. And as far as calisthenics moves go, the human flag is one of the more difficult workouts. So why is the human flag so difficult? I mean, you might say because, you're like, and your body's like, and just all sorts of craziness. And sure, yes, that's true, it is kind of crazy. But the real answer is because physics. Now, more specifically, it's about two things that we've already spent a lot of time discussing in the other videos, and that is the center of mass and torque. So now it's time to get a little bit more advanced in our understanding of the physics. So before, we've already spoke about how the torque is a twisting force. And now the new thing that we're going to be learning is that it depends on the position of the center of mass relative to something called the axis of rotation. The best way to show you what the axis of rotation is to use the human flag progression as an example.
As we can see here, as I lower myself from the human flag position, you notice that my body rotates downwards rather than falling straight to the ground. Now this is obviously because I'm holding on to the bars. Now, the bars serve as something called the axes of rotation, and they're called the axes of rotation because they're the points about which my body wants to rotate. So now, why does the relative distance or position between our center of mass and the axis of rotation matter?
It matters because as we increase the distance between the center of mass and the axis of rotation, the torque also increases. And remember that the torque is a twisting force. So this means that the twisting force that you feel is also going to increase. We see that here we have the regular human flag, and here we have the vertical human flag. So these green dots, these represent the center of mass. So now, looking at these dashed lines, we can see that the center of mass in the vertical human flag here has been shifted closer to the bar relative to the center of mass in the regular human flag. Additionally, the center of mass in the vertical human flag has been shifted upwards. Now the reason for this is that in going from, say, the regular human flag to a vertical human flag, we move our mass that's extended out this way both closer to the axis of rotation and also up. Now ultimately what this does is it makes the torque in the vertical human flag less than the torque that's felt in the regular human flag because our center of mass in the vertical human flag is closer to the axis of rotation, and because the torque is less in the vertical human flag than it is in the regular human flag, the vertical human flag is actually easier than the regular human flag. That's a wrap for today, everybody. Next time we'll be talking a little bit more about dieting, and until then, Gym Nerds out.